taken very seriously. I'm just thinking like in terms of mathematical formalism is there anyway, and I can't do anything about it, and by the sensible interpretation, I don't see why we want to use it. Yeah, I think it's
highly inflated universe gets very, very big, almost all observations will have an existence probability of P sub E if near unity. So I don't
a unit probabilistic resource to divide it well for each theory. And then others can judge the theory by assigning prior probabilities to the theory based on the simplicity of the theory. So then normalizing the products of the prior to the probabilities of the theories assigned to the observation used to test the theory, then gives the posterior probabilities of the theories. So I'm saying, for this to be a fair contest, each theory should be allowed a unit probability to distribute among the observations predicted by the theory. So, now, of course, if the theorists cheat and they give unnormalized probabilities, such as assigning probabilities near 1 for more than one observation, of course the judges can compensate for that by just assigning correspondingly more priors. They say, this is not good. I guess what I'm saying is, if a person has theory A and the probability of observation is down to 1, and somebody else says, I have a better theory B. In my theory, all the probabilities are just much higher. Maybe none of them exceed 1, but they're all higher than theory A. And I'm just saying that seems like a cheat, and so if the theorists cheat this way, I think the judges should compensate by assigning corresponding lower prior probabilities for it. However, I'm saying that we give a more clear division between prior probabilities for the theories and likelihoods if the theorists obey the proposed rules and normalize the observational probabilities for each theory so that they come to 1. So if you do that, then there's a trade-off between prior probabilities and likelihoods. So you have the prior probabilities for the theories. These are intrinsic probabilities. And remember, the theory here includes not just the quantum state, the dynamics, and so on. It also includes this measure. It also includes the measure for observation. That's part of the theory in my way of putting it, which I think differs a bit from the previous study. Each theory describes a different possible world. And so in my way of thinking, the different measures of observations, if the measure is different, that's a different world. So I think that differs from the outlook of the previous talk, if I understood it right. Okay, then there's the conditional probabilities for observations, these likelihoods, and then the posterior ones that is normalized. So prior probabilities are subjective, but we do usually find a higher percent for theories. So I personally, I have an ad hoc way that if I can put them in order, suppose there's a countably infinite number of possible theories that I will give non-zero probability to, then I might take the simplest theory having a prior probability of 1/2, the next one a 4, the next one an 8, and so on. So 2 to the minus n for the n theory. So the simplest theory I can think of is nothing exists, and nothing concrete. I mean, maybe math theories exist. There's a platonic math world. So this is like what Jim Holmes was talking about last night. Is there a reason for the universe exists or not? Well, I put the prior probability. It's really absolutely prior. It's supposed to be prior to all possible observations. So it's not including any facts I know before. So I don't really updating of things because my priors are always really prior. So I might find that the prior probability of 1/2, say that, the largest for that. But of course, if observations are concrete, they're contingent, they're not logically necessary. So they wouldn't exist in this theory. And so the probability of our observation, any observation, would be 0. So then the posterior probability also be 0. Now the next simplest theory I can think of is that everything exists. Well, you may have to refine that a bit more if you want to say that all possible observations exist. If you say all observations exist with equal probability, well, surely there is an infinite number of possible observations, logically possible, because we're considering all possible worlds as one. So then the probability of that would be 1 divided by the number of observations, so that would be 0. So if you normalize, you get 0. So this is my way of ruling out those things. And David Lewis's proposal, I mean, I don't know if David is really precise enough to talk about probability of observation, but if you're trying to extend it by saying that all observations have equal probability, I would say that that leads to 0 likelihood. So that's the way I rule out that theory. Now the other extreme would be a maximum likelihood theory. So that would give the probability unity for the observation used to test the theory. And of course, if it's normalized to 1, that means the probability has to be 0 for all other observations. So if I really believe this theory, which I don't, then I would say my present observation exists, but none of yours exist. I'd also have to say that I have memories, but they don't really correspond to the actual observation I had before. I was never conscious before now. It's just at the moment I have one. Well, my present observation is very complex. There's lots of people here and lots of detail, and I remember things. There's just a lot of detail in that. I think it would require a very complex theory to predict exactly my present observation and no others. So I think that would, I don't know how to calculate it, but I think that would require a theory to be very complex, and I would assign a very tiny prior probability to. So I think there's a trade-off between the prior probabilities and the likelihood. Definitely, maximum likelihood is just not a good procedure, but neither is the highest prior probability a good procedure. So the major problem in cosmology is how to obtain probabilities for observations from the quantum state of the universe. So it's particularly a problem when eternal inflation leads to a universe of unbounded size, so there's apparently infinitely many realizations or occurrences of observations of each of many different kinds, tending to make the ratio ambiguous, as the previous pair of speakers spoke. And of course it can be very difficult because you can have 2 parts of the universe that have different constants, and even if you can use some metric or something to say, well, we'll go out and somebody disappears, somebody disappears. You really use the same distance when all the constants of physics are quite different to the 2 things. It's a big problem to know how to do that. So the major problem seems to be related to the measurement problem in quantum theory, which, well, I'm not sure what's the best way to say it, but it may be how to relate quantum reality to observations that appear to be much more classical. So an approach I shall take, as I mentioned, is that I'm going to assume observations of fundamentally conscious perception or sentient experiences. I use those 2 phrases interchangeably. Each perception being all that one is consciously aware of at once. And I think that is a really fundamental thing. I can't define it in terms of anything simpler. I can sort of point to it by using these words. But I think it's a fundamental, and it's, as many people have said, it's the thing that we're most sure of. I'm most sure that I'm actually aware of something. So, okay, so I'm going to take an Everettian view. In the sense that I believe the wave function never collapses. That there's a high-degree picture, there's one quantum state for the universe. So there's one fixed quantum state, and it could be a multiverse. I'm not arguing for or against it, but I can say 6 words later, but I'm probably on time. So I'm assuming instead of many different worlds, or many branching states, what many of are many existing observations, or sentient experiences. Not only yours and mine in the present, but ones in the past, but also in what truly might be talked about as different branches. But I don't need to talk about branches of the wave function. All I really want to talk about here are the observations. So for simplicity, I mean, it could be a continuum of pervasive analysis. It would be simpler if it was a discrete set. So I'm going to assume there's a countable discrete set of observations, and I'm assuming the theory really gives objective measure for this thing. This is something that the theory produces, and I'm assuming that this is a real fact about the world, and we will try to discover that. In fact, as the quote from Max Beckmark was the previous speaker, well, I'm taking the same as there's some real measure we'd like to learn, we don't know what it is, and so I'm assuming different theories give different values for the different measures for that. And I'm assuming that, for simplicity, let's assume that you normalize it to unity, so I can just interpret these directly as probabilities. So I'm going to interpret the normalized measure for the observation that each theory gives as the probability of that observation given the theory. So if you use this observation to test the theory, that's then the likelihood of the theory. So, now, the universe we believe is fundamentally quantum, if the classical approximation may be good, but it's fundamentally quantum, so I'm going to decide a quantum theory, and the map of the quantum states of the measures for observations could be nonlinear. However, as a working hypothesis, I'm going to assume a linear relationship. This is in fact contrary to what you get if you apply the theory equal histories, because which histories equal here depends sort of nonlinearly on the quantum state. So I think you don't get linear relations in that, and some of the things I think that Sean Carroll has proposed about eliminating poles for grain, I think he's basically assuming it's something nonlinear in the quantum state. I don't have a strong, I guess if I use a different one of Sean Carroll's papers, you might say the linear one is the only rational one, but I won't go that extreme. It does seem to be fairly, well, it seems to be simpler to say something. So I'm going to favor that as I see many minds theory. It's many conscious perceptions. And anyway, if you crudely call these sensations to make a sensational title, then you get mindless sensationalism. But by conscious perceptions, I don't mean just immediate sensations. I include memories. The fact that as I look at you, I can have memories of having seen and talked with you in some earlier this meeting, previous meetings. So there's a lot of other things besides sensation here. Okay, so in other words, the measure, and I didn't put a subscript for the theory. It's another theory. So I didn't put a subscript for the theory, but for simplicity alone, is given by the expectation value of this operator. And this is the signal represents the quantum state, and it's just saying that it's a functional line that maps operators to complex numbers, and also this is a positive operator, so it's not maps it onto, or at least a non-negative operator, so it will wrap onto the real level. Okay, so that's the quantum state, that's the non-negative awareness operator, so-called my term for it. The quantum state could be a pure state, could be a fixed state, could be a density matrix, or C-star algebra state, and then these awareness operators are these things. So all that is supposed to be in the theory. The theory is not just the dynamics, which I might say is not only algebra of all the operators, and it's not just the quantum state. That was a great advance that Harlan Hawking did, to say that we really needed quantum state. I think that was a very important conceptual advance, and I greatly admire him for it, even though I'm a little bit skeptical of the precise details of that state. But I'm saying that we need another thing, which is the map from the quantum state to the probabilities of observation. And I propose that it's a linear map with by expectation values of operators. That's the formalism. I don't have a complete theory because I don't know in detail what the operators are. Okay, I think I'm going to have to skip over most of this, but I have a number of papers where I argue that at least for first-person probabilities, the Born rule doesn't work. I'm not necessarily disagreeing with Ken that for third-person times that you could use it. I think for first-person probabilities, I'm arguing it doesn't work. In other words, taking Born's rule, I'm taking a specific mathematical form, I'm taking the probability of the expectation value of a projection operator. So that's if you multiply two together, you get the same exact say, and you get the same, the theory is zero. So that would be the Born rule thing, and it works. It would work when you knew what the observer is within a quantum state, but it does not work in a universe large enough to take the identical copies of the observer at different locations, since then the observer does not know uniquely the location or what the projection operators are. So I think I'm going to sort of rush through that. If you have two copies of the observer, and maybe they're going to measure something, maybe you're one of them there's a spin out and the other there's a spin down, but they don't yet know what it is, but otherwise they can't tell the difference between them. Then you say, well, if you're really uncertain, you'd like a probability to be between what this guy would get and this guy would get. And if the observer is not certain to be either B or C, and if the probability if you were D is this, and that's less than that, well, most generally just choose D and C in the right order, then you should have that. But there's no state-independent projection operator that gives this for all possible quantum states. In other words, I suppose you're supposed to fix the operators first, but then you're allowed to consider different states. So there's an open set of states to get expectation values that are not positive, we weighted D's of these, and so the Born rule doesn't work. And then I gave an example, but I'm skipping over this, where the one guy, in this correlate function, one of them sees one, and the other two, and the other one, the first guy sees two, and the other one, and then you can get these things, and then you can say, well, in this case, because there's only two dimensions here, so the projection operators have to be rank one, and if you then go through this, you can say that, well, if the state happens to be one, I can say the projection operator, you get probably one, or otherwise you get zero, and that's what you could get if you chose the state appropriately, and those are not positively weighted D's, but these two numbers are any choice of this. So I'll leave you to read my papers, because I go through this a bit too fast. Okay, so I'm saying that these operators' expectation values get measures of conscious perceptions, in a big universe, doesn't have to be instantly big, but big enough that they can be copies of the observer, they can't just be projection operators. So then, but they could be, I don't know if they are, but they could be weighted sums of intervals over space-time of localized projection operators at locations schematically driven by X. I'm not being very precise here, but there may be difficulties of infinities not only if the space-time is infinite, but also you might say, well, we should allow the observation to be, in any orientation or any lucid frame. In other words, I guess I'm saying if my present observation is produced by my present brain state, presumably that same observation would be produced if the same brain state existed somewhere else in the universe. Well, it also should be even if it's moving at some velocity and so on. So there's some sort of interval over space-time, and they go with the Lorentz group, and there's technical problems with that, of course, because the Lorentz group's not compact, so I don't know how to really do this, but okay, let me turn a little bit to the Boltzmann-Gray problem. If you have local quantum field theory, if you have a definite, let's say for the sake that you have definitely globally hyperbolic spacetime, then any positive localized operator, such as a localized projection operator, will have strictly positive expectation value at any non-pathological quantum state. So it's like if you look at something localized even in the vacuum state, you're going to get some non-zero back. In other words, suppose you have the projection operator on some non-zero charge, some region in the Minkowski spacetime. Well, that's going to give, if it's a localized region, doesn't include the whole Minkowski space, that can give a positive probability of having charge there because there could be a fluctuation with a positive charge here and a negative charge somewhere else for this moment. So, okay, so if what we do to get the measure for a particular observation, if you integrate this positive localized operator with uniform weight, uniform weight over the spacetime with an infinite form line, then it will give an awareness value with an infinite expectation value. So you have to regularize it. Now, if you said, well, we'll just take it up to some cutoff, we'll use the uniform thing and take it up to some cutoff time, then for a universe that continues forever with a free volume that's bounded below by positive value, then almost all the space-time is arbitrarily formed here when TC goes very big, and so the intervals will be dominated by times of the same order of magnitude as the cutoff time. So if at wait times, the probability for volumes off very low for ordinary observers, if it's hard for us to exist after the stars burn out, for example, then most of the measure for observations will be contributed by these thermal or vacuum fluctuations, so-called Boltzmann grains. So the Boltzmann grains will then dominate the measure for the observations. Well, you might say, what's the problem? Can we get rid of it by just saying, well, we'll put a zero gravity distribution for that Boltzmann grains? Okay, so you might say, so what? Couldn't it be our observations or ordinary observers? Or couldn't it be their or couldn't somebody else might say, well, maybe we really are Boltzmann grains? Well, my argument is that I don't have to invoke any other principle other than just using the Bayesian analysis. I'm saying that since Boltzmann grain, admittedly a crude argument, but I think it's pretty robust. If Boltzmann grain observations are produced mainly by thermal or vacuum fluctuations, it would be expected that only a very tiny fraction of them would be for observations so ordered as ours are. I mean, it would be extremely unusual for Boltzmann grain to have a vision, have part of its present experience of seeing faces that I recognize as having correlated with memories that I have. I mean, that would just be very unusual for that. That's why it's going to be a very tiny fraction of them. So if you take that very tiny fraction of Boltzmann grain plus the even smaller fraction of ordinary observer observations in comparison with the dominant disordered Boltzmann grain, that is, assuming that Boltzmann grains do, then that would be a very tiny fraction of the measure of all observations. So when you follow my prescription or my principle, I'm saying, to normalize the probabilities of observations, then the probability of our observation would be highly diluted by the very many Boltzmann grain things. So that would be that these theories that we're supposed to be dominating would give us very low likelihood for ours. So that's the reason rules of how you try to evaluate the Boltzmann problem instead of summing up over these things over all things. If you look at the density of observations on the different hypersurfaces, and then, well, there's still something else you need because of the time. Even if you put the density, if the Boltzmann density goes to a constant, very, very tiny constant, if the universe lasts for an infinite time, you still get another divergence. So I propose something called an easy way to use this curve of which is easy 1 over 1 plus t squared. So, that's a proposal. It seems to fit observations, but it is that hard. So I don't think the current probability is very high. Now, slightly near the end, we're going to say, so I was advocating when we do science, we use this Bayesian analysis, and we assign current probabilities based on their simplicity, but then we have to weight them by the likelihoods. And in the end, we get a theory. I mean, we don't have a complete theory yet. Maybe it's superstring theory, maybe it's some modification of our Hawking thing, and then there's this whole business about what these invariance operators are. But in the end, we don't get a theory that's maximally simple, mathematically. So, actually, mathematical simplicity is a really good guide for choosing the prior probabilities. But once the observations are taken into account as the likelihoods, then the highest posterior probabilities do not seem to go to the mathematically simplest theories. Well, the simplest mathematical theory I can think of is that nothing concrete exists, and that has zero likelihood. So it leads me to wonder, this is why I'm going for cosmology, from a small c to cosmology with a big C, and you might say going beyond science, but it's sort of a similar line of reasoning. Is there another principle that works better for predicting or explaining the properties of the actual world? So conjecture principle is that the actual world is the best possible world. Well, you might laugh at that as Voltaire did. I think when I was arguing with Stephen, he said, if you ever read Candide, well, okay, I mean, Voltaire could make fun of it, but I don't think why this idea was wrong by such a simple, you could ridicule it. You could really dismiss it by that sort of ridicule. Okay, let me explain what I mean by that and see where I'm thinking it might go to. So by the best possible world, I mean one with maximal value. I think value to be maximized to be the intrinsic value of consciousness and experiences. So experiences of pleasure, happiness, pleasure, joy, contentment, and satisfaction would have positive value. I'm having a great positive value now, being in a wonderful place, seeing wonderful colleagues, friends, having the excitement of giving this talk. It's a very positive emotional experience. Then, conscious experiences of unhappiness, pain, agony, discontentment, and dissatisfaction would have negative value. Well, our universe seems to have enormous positive values, but it also seems to have enormous negative values. I experience a little bit of it, but other people far more. I mean, it's hard to even imagine all the horror of the people who went to the Holocaust, for example. So, it has horrible evil. Now, our universe also seems to have a very high degree of mathematical elegance and beauty. In some sense, it seems to sit more to the high end of the elegance than it is as far as the others, the pleasure and pain are. So now we can partially appreciate yours, so that helps increase the value. But even as a physicist, I would prefer to give up, for me personally, I would prefer to give up simple laws of physics if I could cure some friends with cancer. There's also the things if I could just perform magic. Okay, then I have to say, well, whatever allowed that would be the laws of physics are simple, but, I personally would be happy to do that. So it seems like the intrinsic human value would be higher if the advantages of being cruelly were eliminated, even at the cost of less mathematical elegance for the laws of physics. So, okay, but now, suppose you bring in the concept of bigger to God. And suppose that this God appreciates, that there's a sentient being, well, first let's talk about sentient being and then build up. Suppose there's a sentient being outside the universe that greatly appreciates this mathematical elegance. So that might, if it appreciated enough, it might increase the value of the world to a maximum despite the suffering within it. In other words, if more magic happened to reduce suffering here, it might make the universe sufficiently disordered that this being would be unhappy about that. So now this value might be maximized if this being had all possible knowledge, leading to the hypothesis of omniscience for full appreciation. It might also suggest the hypothesis that the being has omnipotence for actualizing the best possible world. And if the being actualizes the world of maximal value, one might postulate the being is the creator and has omnibenevolence. He's really trying to make the whole world as the best possible. So such an omnipotent, omnibenevolent creator would fit the usual criteria for God. So that's assumption the world of maximum might suggest the conclusion of the existence of God. And since this is used as optimal, they have called the optimal argument for the existence of God. So, in other words, without God, it would seem that the value of the universe could be increased by violation of the laws of physics, whenever such violations would lead to more happiness and unhappiness. But with God, such violations might decrease God's happiness so much that the total value would be decreased. So perhaps the actual world does maximize the total value, despite the suffering that are consequences of these elegant laws. So I think, elegant laws that lead to conflict rays and mutations and so on, I think there are consequences of these elegant laws, not only one state. And I think God may agree, I think he does agree over the unpleasant consequences of the elegant laws, but it may be that inevitable trade-off. He's really trying to make things the best possible. So if God really does maximize the total value, he's doing what's best. And I don't think we can fault him. We may be selfish and say he should give our pleasure more importance than his, but why should that be? If he maximizes the total pleasure, the total happiness, and so on, that to me would seem to be best. And it seems unfair for us to demand that we ourselves should be treated better if it's a much greater expense to him. So now the brief form of this, it was kind of tentative. I had a discussion just the last couple days ago, including last night with a Christian philosopher about it. Epiphany, this original form I did left out one, was invalid, so I tried to make it a little more, it's a little convoluted, but let's see how we got it. So the first thing is that if there's one more being external to the universe exists who value the universe, one of them is God. Now, I guess I'm sort of eliminating the possibility that our universe is being simulated by something. I mean, if you didn't accept one, you could say, well, maybe the universe is being simulated by something, but they get enormous pleasure out of it. And then the second thing is that if God exists, God loves elegant existence. He really loves elegance. And then three, the world is the best possible subject to. In other words, if God doesn't exist, it's just the world is the best possible, according to this assumption. If God does exist, then it's the best possible subject to this part of the nature of God. And then four, the fact is the intrinsic value of our universe put at high. It by itself is maximized. So then the point is, because of four, then three can't be true if there isn't. And if there isn't, some other being, if there is some value outside the universe that depends upon the universe. I mean, if it's independent of the universe, you can say, well, you just increase the universe's value, that has no effect on it. But if the value of the universe if the universe has an effect on the value of the external thing, then you can probably get around the contradiction between three and assuming there's no being outside. So then, therefore, you're led to the fact, to the thing that this antecedent part of this must be true, and then if you accept this, that if such a thing that does value is God, then you're led to that, and then that gets you back to this one. So therefore, the idea is it's inconsistent. These assumptions are inconsistent if God doesn't exist, but they're consistent if God does exist, or they could be as long as you why they're not consistent. So that's sort of the reform of the argument, but maybe by some philosophers make it more precise. It's not. There's a bunch of probably unstated assumptions here. Okay, so to conclude, I'm proposing that in a Bayesian analysis, that with the probability of particular observations use the likelihood of the theory, the sum of the probabilities of all observations should be unity. Not just the sum of the probabilities of the observation exists, but the probability that doesn't exist. The probabilities of all observations. It seems plausible that you can find cosmological theories that avoid Boltzmann domination and explain the high order of observation, and there are proposals out there, including some of my own, but none of us seem that elegant yet, so I don't think the favorite problem is yet solved. The next thing is the best theories don't seem to be the absolute simplest, so presumably something other than simplicity is maximized, such as value. And so the best explanation of the world may be that it's the best possible world. And then this is some along with suitable assumptions about God's value, such as the law of mathematical elegance, the optimal argument for the existence of God is the world may maximize value only by including a God whose appreciation of the elegant universe and sentient beings he created overbalances the intrinsic suffering within the universe. Okay, thanks.
Actually, Dr. John has illustrated the difference between cosmology with a big C and a small c. We've got a panel discussion coming up, so I'm afraid I'm only going to do that one question.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time seeing how it is that God can really reasonable on evil, given the consideration that has to set out. How is it that said that gives God more than reasonable on?
Well, I guess I'd say that he appreciates that. I mean, it might be similar. Suppose I get aesthetic value from coming to this conference, and somebody says, well, aesthetic values don't mean anything, therefore, if we use the money to come to this conference to do something else better, then there's no justification for us to have aesthetic value coming to this conference, say. So I think aesthetic value, if it's appreciated by conscious being, it's a real value that's really experienced. So I'm just proposing that God has, he really does have this appreciation for the world. It's not just an abstract thing, it's a real appreciation for it. Right.
But I have a hard time seeing how the appreciation of the value without themselves can serve as moral reason.
Well, I guess I'm taking a sort of practice view that the best thing you can do is to try to maximize the value. And so I'm saying if God did the best he can do is to maximize the value, I think it should be the value of everything, all possible value, including this aesthetic value. So, I mean, of course, if one doubted that there was real value there, then you can say what's the moral thing about it. But I guess that's true. I mean, if I'm going to deal with somebody in a moral way, I don't want to minimize, I don't want to reduce the value in any sense, but of course there's always trade-off. I mean, I have to provide for my family, and that may be cost, well, I don't know, I can pay money to the university for the government, you might say, well, maybe the government could use this for some other things. There's always a trade-off, but so I'm just saying that if there really is this trade-off, and it makes a really big difference to God, then it seems to be quite morally justified for God to make this choice that really does maximize the total value.
Before I begin, I just want to make an announcement because I'm not sure it's been done yet. This will be an informal meeting at 7 here with some wine and cheese to talk about Sean's account of the universe and all that should be said. And I think that's how you wanted people to sign up at the registration desk if you want to be there. So no wine and cheese to begin. Okay, so I'm going to give I'm going to show more philosophical talk than some of the previous talks. But first I remind you of some discussion about remark of finance, which I mostly agree with. I don't think philosophy is going to help figure out what dark matter is, what dark energy is, or anything like that. But I do think there's some questions that come up in physics that philosophy does have at least opinions about. And I'm going to talk about one of them. And the thing walking the other night reminded me that this is remark, and I'm going to talk a little bit about this, this question, and some philosophical views about it. So if you think about the distinction between physics and philosophy, when you're asked, at least when I was asked by a journalist here, I was thinking about how to distinguish physics and philosophy. Here's a way to make that distinction. The physicists is in the business of figuring out what the laws are and what the probabilities are. And it's amazing that so much can be done without having answers to these philosophical questions. What are laws, what are probabilities? But in fact, physics proceeds without answering those questions. And this is why philosophy takes so much, make it a very difficult question. Okay, so it's important to distinguish those metaphysical questions from the physiological questions. Sometimes they get run together, but Joey Ellis reminds us to keep our metaphysics and epistemology separate, and that's very good advice. So if we ask the question of how we know what the laws are, well, that's answered in terms of scientific methodology, which physicists learn in their supervisors' needs, I guess. The question of how we know what laws are, that's more difficult. And to give a good answer to that, the philosophers have ways of arguing and presenting pictures and counter examples of proposals and so on. But I'm not sure I don't have a comprehensive anything like a quick answer to what the methodology of philosophy should be, and it'll come up with a discussion. Okay, so we're looking too much to think about the origin of our concept of scientific law. It's an interesting thing that historians of science, as far as I know, haven't really investigated the extent that it could be to dispute the concept of scientific law. There's no book-length treatment of this that I know of. But it's a more or less dominant view, something like this from what I can gather. It's that the concept of law was introduced into European science in the 16th, 17th, 18th centuries by sort of a combination of ideas from theology and from geometry. So the idea is that on the one hand, laws comprise a system that describes the notions of material bodies, something along those lines, Euclid's axioms and differential geometry. And also there's lots of principles of God employs to govern the notions of material bodies. And at least in some of the writers of the time, Newton in particular, it's just because the laws are imposed by God that they have the ability to explain the notions of material bodies. Because the physics developed the role of God as governing the universe, the laws was sort of dropped out. Although the metaphor of governance remains, and you hear now everybody physicists are using textbooks talking about laws governing motions. So there's a famous remark by Laplace indicating that he thought the notion of God dropped out. Okay, so if we think about laws now, let's go when philosophers think about laws. One thing it's useful to do is to think about what kinds of features lawful equations, laws represented by equations, what kinds of features lawful equations have. And there's a little bit of philosophical jargon that German philosophers have had to use. Most of this is pretty